catch themselves during a fall and land hard on an outstretched hand. You may be at high risk of a broken wrist if you participate in sports like inline skating or snowboarding, or if you have a condition in which bones become thinner and more fragile, which is called the osteoporosis.
An acute injury is generally an injury that is severe with sudden onset. Acute injury is a sudden injury that is usually associated with a traumatic event. Sprained ankles, strained backs, and fractured hands are some of the examples of acute injury. The second one is chronic injury, which are also called overuse injury, are health problems that can develop slowly and last a long time. If they are not treated promptly, they can cause a lifetime of pain, inflammation, and overall discomfort. Some common examples of chronic injuries are stress fractures, tennis elbow, shin splint, runner's knee, and heel inflammation.
The purpose of this video is to give knowledge on the causes, prevention, and tips for wrist fracture.
This animation shows what can happen when someone fractures their wrist and how a fractured wrist is treated. Click the navigation arrows below the animation screen to play, pause, rewind, or fast forward the animation. Your body is protected and supported by a framework of bone called your skeleton. Your bones are very strong. They have three main parts: compact bone on the outside, spongy bone on the inside, and bone marrow right at the center. Your bones also have a nerve and blood supply. The structure of bone makes it very tough. A bone will only break if it's put under a lot of force or twisted awkwardly. A broken bone is said to be fractured. Fractures are painful because bone has a nerve and blood supply. If you trip, you usually break your fall by outstretching your hands. This puts a lot of pressure on the wrist bone, which may cause it to fracture. Here we show the forces that are acting on the wrist bone when it hits the ground to break your fall. There are many different types of fractures. A common type is a fracture of the wrist, called a Colles fracture. This type is usually caused by tripping over with the arms stretched out to break a fall. Here we show what the broken bone looks like in a Colles fracture. The two edges of the bone have moved out of line. Colles fractures are most common in women over 50. People who have weakened bones due to osteoporosis are more likely to break their wrist when they fall. Once the wrist bone has been fractured, it may be out of line. If this isn't corrected, the wrist will heal in the wrong position. If the two pieces of bone have been displaced, They need to be repositioned so that they are lined up correctly. This is known as reduction. This can be achieved by pulling on the hand, then manipulating the wrist and hand. The bone is now lined up, so it will heal in the same shape as before the fracture. Your doctor will put a plaster cast around your arm to fix it in the correct position and support the bone while it's healing. This is the end of the animation.
Arm bones. Treatment may include or surgery depending on the severity and location of the break. Rehabilitation therapy is usually part of the recovery process. How to treat strains and sprains. Rest the injured part, help them to sit or lay down, and support the injured part in a comfortable position. Raise if possible. Apply an ice pack. Try and cool the area by putting an ice pack or a bag of frozen vegetables wrapped in a tea towel against the injury. This can help to reduce the swelling, pain, and bruising.
First, let the injured person sit comfortably. Then, get an ice pack and put it on the wrist and let it cool the area. Next, wrap a soft layer of padding around the area. And then bandage the area. After bandaging the area, elevate the limb, support the injury. In my case, I don't have a triangular bandage, so I use a piece of cloth instead to make a sling. Make sure to tie it properly.
How to prevent wrist fracture. Number 1. Keep physically active. Exercise supports balance, stability, and quick reflexes. Number 2. Utilize physical therapy resources. If you have balance issues or have fallen in the past, I recommend working with a physical therapist. Number 3. Make smart footwear choices. You don't have to give up fashionable shoes to prevent wrist fractures. Number 4. When appropriate, use assistive devices. If balance continues to be a struggle, I encourage the use of a cane or walker. And last, number 5. Cultivate a bone-healthy diet. Good nutrition is a critical part of bone health.